It's a Tuesday night. You just got paid. Before dinner, before anything, you log into your bank and move an extra $300 to your mortgage. You close the laptop feeling good, responsible, ahead of schedule, doing the right thing. I need to tell you something, and I need you to actually hear it. If your mortgage rate is under 6%, that $300 you just sent probably cost you more than it saved. I know that sounds completely backwards. Stay with me for 60 seconds, because the math on this will change how you think about money permanently.
The advice is the same everywhere you look. Every personal finance podcast, every Reddit thread about adulting, your parents, your older coworkers, the guy at church who paid off his house. And if you've spent any time on YouTube watching Dave Ramsey clips, you've seen the call-ins, voice shaking, kids in the background. Dave, we paid off $92,000 in 3 years. We are debt-free. The crowd roars. It is genuinely moving. And for a certain type of debt, that crowd is 100% right. For another type, those same people just quietly made themselves a lot poorer. Meet Jordan, 33 years old, project manager, earns about $71,000 a year. Bought a townhouse 4 years ago, $210,000 left on the mortgage at 4.1%. Still has $26,000 in student loans from state school at 5.4%. The car is paid off. Jordan mentions that at least once per Thanksgiving. Every month, Jordan packs lunch every single day, skips the annual trip, and sends $500 extra toward those loans. Has a payoff countdown on the fridge. Jordan is the most disciplined person in the building. Jordan is also about to learn something uncomfortable. The problem is not Jordan's discipline. Jordan has more discipline than 90% of people. The problem is direction. Jordan is treating every debt like it's the same emergency. But a 4.1% mortgage and a 24% credit card are not the same animal. They are not even in the same category. When you pay extra on a 4.1% loan, you earn a guaranteed 4.1% return on that money. That feels like progress. But there has been a place available to literally everyone that has returned an average of 10% per year for the past 50 years. And the gap between 4.1 and 10 is where this whole video lives. The S&P 500, not a stock you pick, not crypto, not your coworker's hot tip. It's just an index, a basket of America's 500 biggest companies. Apple, Google, Amazon, JP Morgan, Walmart. You buy one fund, something like Vanguard's VOO, and you own a small piece of all of them. No stock picking, no charts, no stress. Since 1974, that basket has averaged 10.1% per year. $1 invested in 2003 became $11 by 2023. That same dollar used to pay down a 4% loan in 2003 saved you about 4 cents per year in interest. 4 cents versus $11. That is the actual trade Jordan has been making every month. Let's run Jordan's exact numbers. $500 extra a month, 30 years, 2 paths. Path A, keep going. Fire it at the 4.1% mortgage and 5.4% student loans, above the minimum payments. Path B, minimum payments only on both loans, and the full $500 goes into a low-cost index fund every single month, on autopilot. Same salary, same $500, same 30 years. The only difference is where the money lands. Path A, extra payments on loans at 4.1 and 5.4%. Over 30 years, Jordan saves roughly $81,000 in interest. Real money, earned through real sacrifice, every packed lunch, every skipped trip. Path B, $500 a month, 30 years, 10% average annual return. $1,130,000. I want you to sit with those two numbers. 81,000 versus 1,130,000. The gap between those two choices is $1,049,000. Jordan's discipline was completely real.
target was wrong.
Jordan stares at that number, and the fridge countdown suddenly looks different. But here is the part that makes it even harder to accept. Jordan starts investing at 33. $500 a month becomes $1.1 million by 63. But say Jordan waits just 7 more years, finishes the debt payoff plan first, starts investing at 40. Same $500, same 10%. At 63, it's only $618,000. The 7-year delay cost Jordan $482,000. Compound interest does not pause and wait for your payoff plan to finish. Time is the ingredient you cannot buy back, and it's already running.
I already know what's coming. Okay, but what about 2008? What if I put everything in the market and it drops in half and I still have the debt? Now I've got nothing on both sides. That fear is completely human. It's the reason most financial advice leans so hard on debt payoff. It feels safe, certain. The mortgage payoff countdown on the fridge never goes red. So let's actually look at what happens during a real crash. Not the headline version, but what the numbers actually showed. 2008, the worst financial crisis since the Great Depression. The S&P 500 fell 57%. If you had $100,000 invested, you watched it show $43,000 on your screen. Genuinely brutal. And then it climbed. By April 2013, you were back to even. By 2017, your money had doubled from the crash low. Then March 2020, COVID. Market drops 34% in 33 days. By August, 5 months later, all-time highs. The people who got hurt permanently are not the people who stayed in. They are the people who sold at the bottom in a panic. Staying in felt terrifying. Selling is what actually cost them. But now I need to stop completely, because everything I just told you has a hard exception. One type of debt breaks the entire math. And based on the statistics, a lot of people watching this are carrying it right now and not talking about it. Pull up your credit card statement. Not the one you pay off every month. The one with the balance that's been quietly growing for the last year or two. That Discover card from college that just never fully went away. What's the interest rate? Because the national average right now is 22%. Some cards are charging 29%, and 22% changes everything. You genuinely cannot beat 22% guaranteed anywhere in the world. Warren Buffett, the greatest investor in modern history, has averaged about 20% annually over 60 years. The stock market averages 10%. So if you are carrying a credit card at 22% and also contributing to investments at the same time, you are losing 12% per year, every year, before you even open your brokerage app. Paying off that credit card is not just good psychology. Mathematically, it is the single highest returning investment you have access to. It goes first, every spare dollar, right now. This is the one rule with no exceptions.
So here is the simple rule I want you to write down. Above 7% interest, pay it off aggressively before you invest anything extra. Below 7%, make the minimum payment and take every extra dollar straight into the market. 7 is not a magical number. It is the rough point where 50 years of market history says investing starts to win. Above 7, the guaranteed return is hard to beat without taking on real risk. Below 7, the math almost always favors investing. Write that on a sticky note, stick it to the fridge, right next to the payoff countdown. Let me put your actual debts through that filter. Credit card at 18 to 29%, this is a financial emergency. Treat it like one. Everything you've got. Personal loan at 12 to 14%, same urgency. Eliminate it fast. Car loan at 7 to 9%, borderline. Lean toward paying down. Student loans at 4 to 6%, minimum payment only. Invest the rest. And your mortgage at 3 to 5%, statistically, this is the cheapest money most of us will ever borrow in our entire lives. Make the minimum payment. Put
every extra dollar in the market. That is not reckless. That is the math.
The mortgage one always gets the most pushback. I know, because paying off your house feels like something real. It is safe and solid, and it means something. Nobody can take your home. That is not nothing. But here is the honest math. Every extra dollar you put into your mortgage sits inside your walls, earning exactly 0% until the day you sell. It does not compound. It does not grow. That same dollar in an index fund for 20 years becomes $6.70. Your bank already made their profit when they set your interest rate at closing. Paying them early does not hurt them. It just delays your wealth. Now, before you open a brokerage account, two things come first, and there are no exceptions. First, emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of expenses, in cash, sitting in a high-yield savings account, not in the market. Because if you get laid off or the furnace dies with no cushion, you sell investments at exactly the worst moment and lose twice. Second, your employer's 401k match. Pull out your HR paperwork right now. If your company matches up to 4% of your salary and you are not contributing at least 4%, you are literally turning down free money. That is an instant 100% return on that contribution. Nothing beats it. Match first, always, before anything else. Here is the complete playbook in exact order. Step 1, capture your full 401k employer match, every single dollar of free money. Step 2, build 3 to 6 months of emergency cash. Step 3, destroy every debt above 7%. Treat it like a house fire, all hands on deck. Step 4, max your Roth IRA. $7,000 a year in 2024, growing tax-free forever. If you're 28 years old and you max it every year until 65, the math puts you at well over $1.2 million that the IRS cannot touch. Step 5, index funds. And step 6, finally, dead last, extra mortgage payments. They live here at the bottom. Back to Jordan and Marcus. Marcus sits one desk over. Same salary, same company, same timeline. While Jordan has been sending $500 a month to the mortgage and loans, Marcus has been doing minimum payments on his low-interest debt and putting $500 a month into a Vanguard index fund, quietly for 30 years. At 63, Jordan, $1,100,000 in investments, low-interest debts fully cleared about 3 years later. Marcus, $1,100,000 in investments. Same result, same math, same timeline. The difference? Jordan almost didn't start. Jordan almost spent 30 years building a paid-off townhouse with $47,000 in savings, which is exactly what would have happened on Path A. Marcus knew the rule. Jordan knows it now. So, stop paying off your debt. But finish the sentence. Stop paying off your low-interest debt early, while compound interest sits on the sideline waiting, while your employer's free matching money goes uncaptured, while your Roth IRA stays at 0, and while a Tuesday night extra mortgage payment feels like winning but is actually costing you. The high-interest debt, the credit card, the personal loan above 7%, attack that with everything. That is a genuine emergency. But the 4.1% mortgage, the 5.4% student loan, the minimum payment is the right answer. Take the difference, put it in a boring index fund, set it to automatic, and let 30 years do what no extra mortgage payment in history ever could. Jordan took down the payoff countdown. Put up a portfolio tracker instead. If this made you look at your own debts differently, subscribe. Every week on this channel, one more thing about money that most people don't figure out until it's already cost them. This one was free. The next one is one click away.